Do you know that feeling? Maybe on an early summer morning or a cool autumn noon, and you were just taking a walk through the neighboring forest. You passed thin dirt paths along thick tree lines. A cold breeze blew past your cheeks, and at some point you reached an opening. If just a simple clearing where the grass grew high, as if reaching out towards the sun itself, which was freely shining down only in this place, or one of the large fields sparsely spread throughout this area of pure nature. No matter what it was you found there, it finally showed you a glimpse of the scale of those woods that always felt so cramped. It was only in this moment that you thought on something. Even though you had been walking on without any signs of fatigue, you had not seen a single other person. Come to think of it, you hadn't seen any other animals either. Such a vast landscape of living, breathing things, and yet you couldn't feel any lonelier. There, in that forest, in that giant, empty field, was the only place you would feel this kind of isolation. That was always a strange feeling, but it would fade as soon as you kept going, so you wouldn't ask yourself what it was. But what could it have been? A fear? Something that brings us back to our days of hunting and gathering? A need to find someone and realize that you are alone in this world. No matter what, you should remember one thing. Never to linger on this feeling for too long, or it might drive you crazy. It's been 3 months, I think. I don't know how accurate my watch and a peculiar technique of scratching symbols into trees could be, but I've seen those numbers turn from 24 to 1, a total of 97 times. The first thing I had to notice, and that made me doubt the function of my watch for the first time, was that the sun is not or just barely moving up in the sky. The clouds still pass by as they should, but the sun is frozen in place, exactly so that the landscape is kept in a perpetual state of lighting shortly before sundown. But that's beside the point. I don't know how I got here. I remember that I came to the woods for some reason, be that personal matters, business, maybe a manhunt. I don't recall why. Then all I see is darkness, the shape of a face, and the greenest green I had ever laid eyes upon. Aside from things that used to be, I know I awoke on the filthy ground between 5 trees on a bed of flowers. Nothing on my person with the exception of a set of my warmer clothes and my watch. I have explored for up to 65 hours in any one direction, but I've always had to return to the place of my waking, mostly because it is the only place where I can find food. The hills. The hills are that reason. They are where my food comes from, and my watch tells me when I need to be back. I cannot go further than 79 hours. I don't know how much longer I could go and still be able to reach the hills. It's not a pleasurable experience to find this limit, but it was necessary. One time, day 65, I reached the very edge of the forest. As I weakly crept through the trees, I could tell I was getting close. I was so hungry, but I needed to know. Passing the last thickets of grass and branches, I fell to my knees. Those fields were as far as the eye could see, in all directions. They were the horizon itself, and it was the time I felt it more than ever. There was nothing but green, no evidence of man or single creature around. I barely crawled back to the hills and did not leave for another 15 days. I do not know, nor care how I got here. All I want is to escape. The food from the hills has gotten stale, and I just want to see another living being. The isolation is terrible. I feel like I'm going crazy. How can that be? I'm just in the woods, on my own. I mean, hell, I'm not a child anymore. I'm not scared of the forest. It doesn't even get dark in here. There is no night or day, just twilight. Is it really that feeling? Taking me hostage, turning me savage? Could this happen to anyone? Is this loneliness, this insignificance part of everybody? Or am I just a madman? Well, if it is the case, then it won't be long until this happens to another. Either way, I probably won't know any of it. I will make the attempt to leave this day. I do not expect to live through it, but I must take any chance I get. There is nothing left for me. No hope. Not in the woods. I pray that I am wrong about all this, yet I still wonder, why did I hear screaming from the hills? Why was the number 8 scratched out on my watch? And what was it that seemed so wrong about the man who told me about this forest? Goodbye. And you found this at the edge of the woods? Yes, sir. Excuse me, sir. It's the team. Okay. Sir? They found a watch in the center of the forest. And a lot of very small bones in a field of molehills.